Hi guys, welcome to the Art of Server. So I've gone completely bonkers. So a little while ago I released an unboxing video of that Quanta server that you see right over there. So you guys really liked that because there was a lot of views on that video, and not only that, I thought that was a really cool server. I've never had a Quanta server before. And so I went completely bonkers. I bought myself another Quanta server.
Another server?
Yes, honey. But this one is special.
They all are special.
No. This one is really special, guys, okay? This one, I mean, I don't know if you can tell from the camera, but this is extra long. All right, you see that length of that box? So let me open this up, and I want to share this with you guys because I'm really excited about this. This is a really special form factor of a box. So, all right, let's get to it right now. Guys, pardon the interruption here. I wasn't originally planning to do a promotion, so I'm adding this in post, but this server is just so awesome. I reached out to the vendor, which is Core 4 Solutions, and got them to agree to offer a promotional deal on this Quanta server. So if after watching this video you want to get one of these servers too, stick around until the end of the video and I'll tell you more about the special deal I have for you guys. Alright, now back to your usual programming. Alright, so we have a lot of this same type of packaging we got from last time. So let me just throw all this paper out. I see some rails and oh, okay. Well, it looks like the server fell out of the foam, and this I really like how this vendor uses this type of foam, but unfortunately it fell out this time. Hopefully everything's okay. Anyway, we got some rails. We'll check on those a little bit later. Let me just put those aside here. Alright, so let me get this out of the box. Alrighty. And I'm just gonna kick the box to the side there. Okay. Let me just put this down. And we'll take this off. Alright, so you can see that this is a really long server. And there's a reason for that. So let me just turn it around and place it. So I have the face of the server kind of matched with this other stack of servers I got here, and you can see how it's extra long, right? And there's a reason for that. All right, so this is a 1U form factor server, but I want to show you this. This is so awesome. All right, see this little latch and handle right here? This handle has a purpose. So this pulls out, and check that out. All right, there are 3.5 inch bays, but there are 12 3.5 inch bays in a 1U form factor. This is absolutely awesome if you want high density storage in a rack. All right, so now, and the reason why this is so long is in order to accommodate this pull-out tray with all the drives. So you guys have probably seen the other video on the R720XD. Well, I didn't really do a video on it, but I showed you guys that server when I was trying to figure out how to flash those mini monolithic cards. And that's a wonderful server as well, but it's a 2U form factor with 12 drives, but it's a 2U form factor, right? This is half that U depth, okay? It's only 1U, and it has the same number of 3.5 inch bays. So, and not only that, not only is this like, you know, kind of a cool way to arrange hard drives in a really compact form factor, but this is live, meaning like when you pull this tray out, everything still remains connected. So there's a mechanism in there, there's like some sort of arm that retracts in there that allows this to be online and connected when you pull this tray out. And so even if you have a drive failure, you can pull this tray out, replace the drive, and you know, close this tray, and the server doesn't have to go offline at all. So that's one thing that's really cool. This is like the main thing that I think was like really awesome for a little tiny storage server. All right, so, well, tiny in terms of the number of U depths. All right, but in addition to that, and they really fit a lot of stuff in here, underneath this front bezel here, you'll see these guys, right? Oh, and it looks like I'm missing one. There should be another one of these right here. So I'm gonna have to go reach out to the vendor and see if they can send a replacement for that. But these are SSD trays. Now, these slots are connected to the same, I believe, the same backplane as the main 3.5-inch bays, and so they should be able to accommodate SAS and SATA. Okay, so that backplane, by the way, is I believe a SAS3 backplane, but we're going to find out more as we investigate the server a little bit more. This is really just going to be kind of an introduction unboxing, but the problem with this, though, I mean, this is great, nothing necessarily wrong with it, but the problem is that this is only 7 millimeters thick. And so if you're trying to use SAS drives, they're kind of hard to find in a 7 millimeter thickness form factor. They're usually about 15 millimeters, so almost double the thickness. So you won't be able to fit a normal SAS hard drive in, SAS SSD in here. But one of my favorite SSDs, especially on the used market, is the Intel DC S3700 or the S3710, and those are extremely high endurance SATA SSDs, and they fit this form factor. So if you wanted to use those type of SSDs for some sort of cache, this is great. Like, you get to basically add primary storage with 12 bays, and you get to add 4 more SSDs here for some sort of caching setup or mechanism there. So there are 4 of these, and although I'm missing a tray, there's a pullout tag, I guess, with all the information like part number, serial number, and probably MAC addresses and stuff like that. We've got a front USB port here as well, and it looks like maybe some status LEDs in here somewhere. All right, so let's take a look at the back side of this. All right, so on the back side, we've got 2 more these 2.5-inch trays, and they're the same type of trays as the front, but I'll open this up in a second here, but I believe this is connected to the SATA ports, so this is a SATA only option in the back, but still great if you want, say, a set of boot drives that are mirrored. This is really great for that. So and you know, when we take a look at this inside, maybe this might be possible. If you wire it up correctly, you might be able to use SAS drives in there as well. But then again, because of the 7 millimeter form factor, it's probably going to be hard to find anything SAS that will go in here. But again, SATA drives would be just fine for that. We've got a USB 3 port. We've got a couple of SFP plus ports here. So I believe these are all 10 gigs. I think this is on board, and this is probably like a mezzanine card. We'll find out when we open up. We've got, I believe this is a management port, so probably a gig or 100 megabit, probably a gig. Video, serial port, 2 power supplies. So anyway, let's open this guy up and see what's inside. All right, so let me just get some information for you here. So this server, the model is Ssd1Q-1ULH. All right, and so this is a Quanta server again. What we have inside here, so well, let's see. Let's just take a real quick look. This looks to be like the SAS expander, probably, because it's got the SAS connections linked into it. I'm guessing that there's probably some ribbon cable that goes into that arm that connects to the primary pullout tray, and that looks like a power distribution board under there. And we've got this typical fan wall design here. Although we only got 5 fans, there's a space for another fan here, but it's blocked out, so this is probably just the expected setup for this. And although, you know, there is another header right here for another fan, so I guess you could maybe remove these things and add another fan if that was necessary. So yeah, okay, so this is the 2.5-inch trays in the back. The cable is labeled SATA, and it looks like, yeah, it goes to, one of them at least goes to this SATA port, and the other one, okay, so the other one goes to another SATA port right here. So they're definitely SATA only, and that might be just fine, because again, I said with the 7 millimeter thickness, that's really hard to find anything else that will fit in there. So okay, so we've got the fans. That looks like a fan controller board. What else in here? Okay, so this is the storage SAS cable, and so there's a storage card under here, and I believe this is a SAS 3 storage card, but we'll get into that when we do another video where we kind of get into the details of this system. But what's on the motherboard here is a Xeon D1541. And so that's one of those low power Xeon processors. It's a 8-core 16 thread, I think goes up to like 2.1 or 2.2 gigahertz. So it's not super compute powerful necessarily, but if all you're doing is setting up a storage server like with free NAS or anything like that, that is more than enough compute power. And we've got 4 Dimm slots here. I believe this is this type of Xeon processor only has dual channels, but you can have 2 DIMMs per channel. I believe the maximum spec on this is 128 gigabytes. And again, that might not be great if you're doing a lot of VMs and you're trying to do like a hypervisor or virtualization, that kind of stuff. It is enough to run a decent, maybe like a half dozen or a dozen VMs, depending on how much memory you allocate for each VM. But as a storage server, that is definitely more than enough. Okay, so this is, when I look at this server, I'm primarily thinking like I could run a really awesome little storage server. And I say little as form factor, but just think about all the drives you can fit in this thing, right? Anyway, that's a really, really nice, and it's also an energy efficient processor. So if you're, if what you have in your home lab, the thing that you run 24/7 is just storage, and maybe you power on VMs every now and then, this is great because you get all that storage in a small form factor, and it's energy efficient. So on top of the storage that you've already seen, the storage options you've already seen, there's also an M.2 slot here. And so that allows you to put another SSD in there. So, you could boot off of these two drive trays as a mirrored pair, or you could install M.2. And unfortunately, there's only one, so there's no mirroring or anything like that involved here. But at least, if it's just a boot drive, that might not be a big deal. So you have that. And what else? Oh, let's look at the power supplies. All right, so let me pull these guys out here. So we have a 80 plus platinum power supply. It says total 400 watts. So that's pretty decent. Now again, keep in mind this processor doesn't take a lot of power. So this overall platform is not very power hungry. So 400 watts may just be enough. Primarily, most of that wattage is probably going to be driving the drives, the 3.5-inch drives, because those are all going to be spinning drives. So so you got these, and you got 2 of them in redundant fashion. Let me see if I can put this back. All right, so what else? It looks like, yeah, so there looks like there's some sort of mezzanine slot type of connector down there, perhaps. Anyway, we'll get into that in more detail in another video. Today, I just really wanted to share this unboxing with you. I'm really excited about this little machine, and just wanted to share that with you. So let's put this back. So regarding this Xeon D1541, if you look up the passmark scores for this, it's on a single core basis, it's a little bit, about like 20% faster than the single core of a Xeon L5640. So we've talked a lot about the L5640s in the 11th gen PowerEdge servers, right? So one of these cores is just only slightly 20% faster than one of those L5640s, which is, it's a much older. This is maybe like 4 years old, I think. L5640 is like almost 10 years old now, but yeah, so this uses a lot less energy. Each core is 20% faster than L5640, and on top of that, this has 12 cores, 16 threads, whereas the L5640 has 6 cores, 12 threads, right? So anyway, Quanta also sells a similar form factor server like this that doesn't use the Xeon D series. It's got a kind of a more typical Xeon motherboard with dual socket layout and stuff like that. So there's also that option if you kind of want to go more traditional route. But this is really great for a storage only, low powered storage server. Now, if you're looking at this and you're getting as excited as I am about this, one thing you have to note is the length. And I already pointed this out, but you can see the length. It goes all the way over here. If you don't have a full depth rack, you might have a hard time fitting this in your rack. So I know a lot of home labbers don't always get a full rack or full size like data center rack. There's those smaller racks that might, you know, be better suited in a lot of cases for a home office or something like that, or a closet. So if you have one of those and you're really getting excited about this, I would say, you know, take some measurements and make sure that you can fit the full length of this. I don't have a measuring tape with me. I'll take the measurement of this and I'll leave it in the video description of this video, so you'll know how deep this is. And you know, if you want to consider getting one of these, I would say measure the depth of your rack and what it can accommodate. Now, if you have space in the back of your rack, you might be able to say, like, if the rear rack post ended here, and you have space to let this stick out the back and you don't have doors that get in the way or anything like that, you know, you might still be able to fit this into a shorter depth rack. But this is really meant to fit in a full depth kind of data center type of rack. So anyway, I wanted to share this with you because I'm really excited about this machine. I think it's a really special form factor for a storage server, and I'm going to try it out. And actually, I'm thinking of using this for my own storage server. I currently have a 2U Supermicro system, and we'll see how it goes. I need to test this out and try out a few things. There are some quirks with the BIOS and firmware updates that I have to investigate and make sure I can get that taken care of. But anyway, that's it, guys. I just want to share this unboxing with you. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, you know, I need help. Someone's got to stop me from getting more Quanta servers. All right, that's it, guys. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, what do you think about the server? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave them in the comments. Now, if you're thinking about buying one of these servers too, I've arranged a special promotional deal with Core 4 Solutions for you guys. In the description of this video, you'll find a link to buy this server from Core 4 Solutions website. Hit that link and use the discount code ARTOFServer50. That's ARTOFServer50, all caps, no spaces, and you'll get $50 off each server you buy. In addition, every time you use this code, you'll help support my channel, so it's a win-win for all of us. Have a great day, guys.